The realities of male-female interactions, part 2. Once again, I want to advertise Who Do I Marry? It was written by evangelist Philip Kofi, and he's an evangelist, a very active evangelist, a young man, and he uses the prophets to propagate the evangelism. Let's support him and encourage him, even as we bless our own self with the wonderful material in the book. So, the first aspect I want us to talk about in the part 2 is a biblical perspective. As far as that one is concerned, I think I once mentioned in the earlier stages that there is an analogy between the relationship between a man and a woman and the relationship between God and man. And it started right from the beginning of time. If you read the Bible, you realize that a lot of times God refers to Israel as his wife. And Jesus Christ refers to the church as his bride. What are the implications of this analogy? And what can we learn, even from the Bible, from this analogy? You know, we are always told and we always hear that there's nothing in this world that you cannot get from the Bible or from the Word of God. And it's so true. The more you get revelation from the Word of God and understanding and things are revealed to you, you come to realize that there's nothing that's outside the Word. Some of the things that you might even be thinking that this one here is too dirty or it's too world-like. That's from our own point of view. You can learn a lot in the Bible. So, God did this so that we can understand Him. What do I mean by that? He made the relationship between Himself and us a relationship between man and woman, synonymous something, so that we can understand how we should relate to Him. That's why He created that's one reason why He created us as male and female. So that even as we relate with the opposite sex, we will learn how He feels when we relate to Him in certain ways, as men and as women. It's God's own purpose and His own design. So we saw God and Israel, husband and wife, Christ and the church as groom and bride. The Bible offers us a very rich understanding of male-female nature and interactions. And we want to look at just a few in biblically, so that we see that we are not just talking about abstract things, but things which are real. So we continue a biblical perspective. So if you read the book of the Bible, the prophets, and many other parts of the Bible, you see that God alternating the relationship between Him and people. We can say, I'm your God and you are my people. Or, I am your father and you are my children. Or, I'm your husband and you are my wife. So there's this alternating thing that when you read the many passages. Sometimes in just one passage, there can be a time that God is trying to make them understand by saying God and people, father and children, husband and wife. Okay, so let's look at one. The book of Proverbs, chapter 30, verse 20. Proverbs 30:20 says something. It says, this is the way of an adulterous woman. She eats, wipes her mouth, and says, what have I done wrong? Do you understand? See, this is the way of an adulterous woman. She eats, wipes her mouth, and says, what have I done wrong? It's a proverb. It's located in the Bible, in the book of Proverbs. Are you learning? If female nature here. What Solomon or the Bible was trying to tell us is this, but that there's always a sense of denial and an escape from accountability in an unfaithful woman. She does it, and when you try to approach, or even she tells her own self that what have I done? I didn't do anything that's wrong. That is female nature. I don't know, but I'm sure that all of us here have interactions with females. We've had one or two. We are not children here. We are not children here, so you understand where I'm coming from. This is not the word of Daniel. This is my own mind I'm speaking. I'm bringing a biblical perspective to you. She eats, wipes him off, and says, what have I done wrong? I'll talk more on this later in other aspects, so I don't want to waste time here. Isaiah chapter 3, verse 16. God talked about Zion being proud. He says, and Zion in this case is Israel, and God was referring to his wife, Israel. And the Bible says, moreover, the Lord says, because the daughters of Zion are haughty, that's proud, arrogant, and they walk with outstretched necks and wanton eyes, walking and mincing as they go, and making a tinkling with their feet. Therefore the Lord will smite them with a scab on the crown of their head. And the Lord will discover their secret parts. In that day the Lord will take away the bravery of their tinkling, and ornaments about their feet, and their cords, and their chains, and the bracelets and the mufflers, the bonnets and the ornaments of the leg, and the headbands and the tablets and the earrings, and the rings and the nose jewels, the changeable suits of apparels, and the mantles and the wimples and the crisping things, the glasses, the fine linen, and the hoods, and the veils. And it shall come to pass that instead of a sweet smell, there shall be stink. I just want us to take note of this too, referring to another aspect of female nature. We'll build on these things as we move on. Jeremiah chapter 4, verse 30. We don't have to so. Jeremiah 4, 30. The Bible says, and when thou art spoiled, what will you do? Though you clothe yourself with crimson, though you deck with ornaments of gold, you paint your face with paintings, in vain shalt thou make yourself fair, for your lovers will despise thee, they will seek your life. So you talk about, if you read the preceding verses, it talks about Israel in trouble. His enemies are coming. They are coming to him, they are coming to attack him. And this God is now, like I told you, Muslim, father, son. You get what I'm trying to say? Father, son, God, people, husband, wife. If you read the verses. So now he's now making an analogy using the husband-wife analogy. And he's telling them that you made yourself a woman, because he always refers to Israel as a woman. And you are wearing, your enemies are coming. You are in your time of trouble. And God is telling them that now look at what you are doing. What are you doing? You are painting your face with makeup. You are wearing your ornament chains. You are dressing in a way that will be provocative for you to get them, to seduce them in order for them not to attack you. But it's all going to be in vain. You get what I'm trying to say? I just want to bring certain things to mind. Then, Ezekiel chapter 16, verse 6 to 5. Ezekiel 16, 6 to 5. It says this. 6 to 15, sorry. God says, God was talking about Israel again. He says, Israel, I passed by you and I saw you polluted in your own blood. And I said, when thou was in blood, that I said unto you that, live. I have caused you to multiply as a bud of the field, and thou hast increased in waxing braids, and thou hast come to excellent ornaments. Now I passed by you again, and in this time you were ready for love. And I spread my skirt over you and covered your nakedness. And I entered into a covenant with you, says the Lord, and you became mine. So you see the husband-wife analogy here. And the Bible continues to say, I wash you with water, And I washed the blood stains from you. I clothed you with broidered work, gave your feet badgered skin. I girded you with fine linen. I covered you with silk. I decked you with ornaments and put bracelets on your hands, chains on your neck. And it goes on to say, I put gold on you, raiments of fine linen and silk on you, broidered work, and you were exceedingly beautiful, and you prospered into a kingdom. And you now went forth among the heathen for your beauty. It says, and thy renown went forth among the heathen for your beauty, as in you were recognized as a beautiful woman. And the Bible says that, for it was perfect through my comeliness which I put upon thee. God says, I made you beautiful. But you trusted in your own beauty and played the prostitute because of your fame, and poured out fornication on everyone that passed by thee. Are you getting the clues I'm trying to create here? Okay. Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 23 to 24. Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 23 to 24. This is what happened. The Bible says, how can you say, I am not polluted? I have not gone after Baals. See what you've done in the valleys. Do you not know what you've done? You were like a swift dromedary traversing her ways. A wild donkey used the wilderness that sniffs at the wind for pleasure. In the occasion, who can turn her away? This again is an analogy of Israel as a female. As in, Israel was denying, as in, what have I done wrong? And God was confronting Israel with what he has done. This is what you've done. Look at the tracks you've created in the desert. You see where I'm coming from? Then Jeremiah chapter 3, verse 13. It says, God went on again and told Israel, only acknowledge your iniquity that you have sinned against your Lord. You have scattered ways to the strangers among the green land, and you have not obeyed my voice. That was God still insisting that Israel admit that you did wrong. Initially, I think said something about the book of Malachi, right? Okay, let's go to Ezekiel 23, 5 to 8, and Ezekiel 23, 5 to 8. Okay. So Ezekiel 23, 5 to 8 says something. It says, and Ahola, is talking about two sisters, Ahola and Hollywood. I want us to go and take notes of these verses and go and read them into details. I'm just introducing it. Play the harlot. And when she was mine, so God was saying, Ahola was my wife, and she became a prostitute. She doted after her lovers, the Assyrians, her neighbors, which were clothed with blue, captains and rulers, all of them desirable young men. Listen to these traits the Bible was giving. Young men, horsemen riding upon horses. That she committed her whoredoms with them, with all of them that were chosen men of Assyria, and with all of them she doted, with all their idols she defiled herself. Do you understand where we are coming from? Are you getting certain points from here? God was saying that Ahola, who is my wife, was playing the harlot. And by doing that, she went as far as desiring after young men, the Assyrians. And the Bible gives certain traits. It says, what were they? They were clothed with blue. They were handsome young men clothed in blue. They were captains. They were desirable young men. They were horsemen riding upon horses. Does it give you a clue on what women want? Everything is in the Bible. And when God was trying to relate to Israel, if you read the relationship between God and Israel, the husband and the wife, a man and a woman, you see female nature reflected in it. Malachi chapter 3 verse 10. Like I told you, the last book of the Bible was of the Old Testament was Malachi. And I told that it was written in a prose form. It wasn't in poetry because God wasn't speaking from it. He was just fed up with Israel now. And after that, there was a 400 years of silence. Let's see how God was talking to them. 3:30. God said something to them. Your words have been stout against me, says the Lord.
Yet you say, what have we spoken so much against you? You see how, have you seen this particular trait in female nature? Where she continuously, you're in a relationship, you understand. Some of the young men, I don't know, maybe you don't know women. But when you start interacting with women on a one-on-one base, like boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, you understand what I'm talking about. Israel kept on asking, go through the book of Malachi, this phrase, that what have we done? Repeated itself again and again and again, because they were not seeing what they've done wrong. It didn't repeat once, so again and again. And they were asking that what, and God kept on answering them, confronting them with it. That is what you have to do as a man. I wish you go and read the book of Malachi and look for all those phrases and see how God answered them. We looked at Ezekiel and we saw something. God says confronting them with their guilt. They were asking that same question, that what have we done wrong? If you remember that verse. And God was saying that go into the desert, check your footsteps, and see for yourself. You were went around like a wild donkey, and wherever your last led you, that's where you went. A confrontation there. And look at what we're asking God here. That yet you say, what, and God was saying, what have we done? What have we spoken so much against you that you are talking too much? And he said, yes, you said this. And God is saying, you have said, it is vain to serve God. And what profit is it that we have kept his ordinances, that we have walked mournfully before the Lord of hosts? If you read the book of Malachi, that particular thing repeats itself again and again. We don't have much time. The book of Hosea chapter 2 verse 5 defines who a whore is, a prostitute. Hosea chapter 2 verse 5. Okay, it's after Daniel. This is what happened there. God says, plead with your mother. Plead, for she is not my wife, neither am I her husband. Let her therefore put away her whoredom out of her sight, and her adulteries from between her breasts. Lest I strip her naked, and set her as the day she was born, and make her as a wilderness, and set her like a dry land, and slay her with thirst. And I will not have mercy upon her children, for they are, see what the Bible says, for they are children of whoredoms. For their mother, see, verse 5, for their mother has played the harlot, that's a prostitute. She that conceived them had done something shameful, for she said, I will go after my lovers that give me my bread and my water, my wool and my flax, my oil and my drink. Therefore, I will hedge my. You see where it's coming. So the definition of whoredom is in the exchange. Going to your lovers, so the female going to her lovers to give her what? Her food and her water, her flax, her ornaments, her oil, fragrance, and all those things. Are you getting where we are coming from here? I just want to point certain things out to you. Then now we move. Okay, so the first thing I'll talk about is this. As we talk about them, you will see certain things fixing it here and there. Self-presentation and public image preservation are paramount in the self-acceptance of every woman. It's a superficiality that transcends in meaning anything that's of substance to a woman. What do I mean by that? I'm saying that self-acceptance, self-presentation. Are you understanding? Okay, I'll break it down to get it. These are things that I recorded a long time ago. I'm saying that self-presentation and public image preservation are paramount in the self-acceptance of all women. What I'm saying is that the way a woman presents herself and the way the public sees her is very important to her. To her self-acceptance before she can accept herself. And this is the root of all female insecurity and the reason for female insincerity. Because she needs to present herself in a particular way and to be seen by the public in a particular way, a particular image, she suffers from certain insecurities. And she has to be insincere to present herself in that way. I think we gave examples earlier on. Richard was giving the example you want to go out, your wife looks at you and says, change this clothes. Because her self-presentation and her public image preservation is paramount to her self-acceptance. So she's seen it as you going out, you're going to present her because you are the husband. People will say, look at this woman's husband. It's good too. But I'm looking at the motive behind it and its implications in other areas of life. You see where I'm coming from? So I'm saying this. So her self-presentation, the way she presents herself to be seen by the public, and her public image preservation, they are very, very important to her before she can accept herself. Because of that, she has to be insincere. And she has to be insecure. Insincere in what? Do you understand the insincerity I'm talking about here? She has to tell lies. If you can see it in the way that women present themselves, even in terms of dressing. Because a woman's dressing, herself, she wants to be seen in a particular image, is so important to her. She has to put on the makeup, dress in a particular way to present herself. Do you understand? Dress in a particular way to present herself in a way that she deems fit. The way she wants to be seen in public, or she will be seen by the public, is very, 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 very important to her. Shame for the female is the most feared of all ordeals. Why? Do you understand shame? I'm just trying to summarize some 1, 2, 4. I don't want to go to differences. You know, there's a difference between shame and guilt. And the difference between shame and guilt can be seen in, let me give you an example. You go to a party and you are holding a dish in your hand, giving food. Go and give this food to Mr. Tete. As you are going, crossing the floor, you see people dancing. All of a sudden, someone pushes you and the food left your hand and fall on the ground. And a lot of people are around. You can feel shame and you can feel guilt. You can feel just shame, you can feel just guilt, you can feel both. The shame aspect comes in when we are talking about you looking at how people will see you. You understand where I'm coming from? Yawa. So shame is always self-directed to the way you are presenting yourself to people. That's what shame is. And guilt is a sense of responsibility, where you are asking yourself that, oh, this thing that I've done, that means Jesse will not get food. You are responsible for it. You are thinking about the possible consequences of your action. That is guilt. Women are more concerned about shame than guilt. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say. She's more concerned about how she is seen. And she always asks, what have I done wrong? When she's doing something that is wrong. Or this, she asks, what have I done? Because she doesn't see what she's not concerned about what she's done wrong more than how you see her. That's the shame and guilt I'm talking about here. You see, they have a limited, a man always feels responsible. That's why men can easily be made to feel guilty. For example, the story that he was giving, he was thinking, if I don't call her, she will not feel good. You are feeling, because you have a lot of conscience. And I'm telling you that women have a limited amount of conscience. I'm not saying they don't have conscience. They have a very limited, you have to be aware of that when you are dealing with them. A very limited amount of conscience. So the way, certain things that you feel guilty about, or you feel so responsible for, she will not feel it. A woman can actually cheat on you and blame you that you are not taking good care of her. Because she doesn't feel that guilt. What she's afraid of is the fact that you've caught her. Or the fact that Yawa, like you've seen, and she doesn't want anybody else to know about it. That's what I mean when I'm talking about shame and guilt. I'm saying that, and why is it that? Because it results in loss of the contrived. When you understand contrived, she's created an image for herself. Clean, innocent, very distant. She's created that image for herself. And for shame to come in means that she will lose that image. And to expose her for who she is. Really. You understand where we are coming from here? Okay. Let me jump, and I will just mention Psalm 1212. The type of female that is sold to the male does not exist. Let me repeat myself. I'm saying that the type of female that is sold to the male does not exist. If you buy that kind of female, you will regret when you enter marriage. Because you'll be disappointed, you'll be crushed. She does not exist. It is a myth, false advertisement. And men fall for it. Men claim to be dominant over women, but are yet so afraid to confront women and to see who they really are. Why? The danger lies in that men are so intent to want to desperately believe in this lie of the female archetype as part of their own ultimate self-deception and perverse sexual fantasy. It's a teenage boy's fantasy. Because the way you want to think about women is for your own self. You want to think about it because it satisfies a particular fantasy that you have about women. And it's satisfying to you. Right from the time you were a child, when you were very young, there was a particular image that you had about women. This angelic, they are not like that. They are this. That's the kind of image that you had. Every young boy had that image. But it's a false advertisement and you'll be disappointed. For a man needs to be aroused in order to function sexually. A female does not. Did you hear what I said? I'm saying a man needs to be aroused in order to function sexually. A woman does not need it. If you don't get erection, you are not going to function. A woman does not need an erection or anything. She can not feel anything for you. She'll come and lie down and play the emotions like we're talking about this. And you will not know. She's a good actress. She's an actress. Listen to what I'm saying. I'm not talking about, we talk about male nature. We spoke about certain dirty things about men or certain unfortunate things about male ego and all that. I'm talking about the natural female here. And I'm telling you that it goes beyond what you think. Let me go on. So that man needs to be aroused. The universal male religion, men have a religion, is a faith in the female savior who will simultaneously nurture, do you understand nurture? Every man's dream. But also submit to the male and willfully the male's nature. So we have two things. We want a female who will nurture us and submit to us and willfully our nature. And wishfully our nature. That is every man's religion. And the man doesn't want that religion. It's just like you're a Christian. If someone comes to tell you that Jesus Christ doesn't exist, anyone, whether you're a Muslim or traditional, if someone comes to attack your religion, you fight back. So today I'm attacking your religion, and you are going to fight back. But after you go to the field, you can say what I'm telling you is a lie. When you go to the field and your ass is kicked, you start thinking again. You start saying, what this guy is saying is true. Because the things I say, which when I say tell people for the first time, which are young and other things, some people can get it straight because they've had certain experiences that are, but others, they are still in doubt. But your ass will kick. If you are innocent and you deal with women on that particular, your ass will be kicked. I'm sure most of us, our asses have been kicked, if not in the, we've either been cut or stabbed. You understand what I'm talking about? Some people have been stabbed, some people have been cut, some people have been maimed. You understand maybe? You're Trom, everything. Like, a woman can do something to you that you think about it for the rest of your life. It will never go. That is the maiming. I don't know if you understand what, because what happens is that the problem that men face is that we build them up in our minds so much. Oh, me dear, or nontisa, or a pure, or a. Then all of a sudden you come to realize that it's like you've been scammed. Do you know what a scam is? You think you've bought the best thing and you bring it home and you realize that you know how painful it is. Like you go to sex, you go and buy phone, the iPhone. You're walking on the streets, you're all yeah, I've got iPhone. You come and it's kiso. You don't even kiso, you mean Samsung. You know the iPhone that are fake. Samsung. You just switch on the phone and it just says what? M phone or something. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say. Yeah. You see how something that's happened to you before, or buying something or getting involved with something, for you to come back and realize that you've been scammed or cheated. That's what happens to most men when they enter marriage because of ignorance. I'm talking about realities. If you think I'm telling a lie, you can ask any man who has got married 10 years, 20 years. All of them will tell you, either in a very deep sense or in a shallow sense, but it's always there. That's what I'm telling you. It can be like something that was very painful or something that wasn't so painful, but no matter what, either you be cut or you be stabbed or you be maimed, something in between, something like that. Because of female nature, just like a male has his ego, his need for dominance, his sex drive, his mother need, and all those things, the female also has a nature, certain things that play out. And you cannot joke with it. It's a reality. The male is the author of this deity. Who created it? It's you. You are the author of this deity which does not exist. And anyone who tries to take it away from the religion is attacked, and it's understandable. You should attack me. Why can you say that about women? But me, when you attack me, I don't mind. Go to the field. Your ass will be kicked. And you learn your lessons. But if you know it, then you know how to deal with women. You'll be wise. Of course, there are men, there are women. There are things that men do that affect women negatively. But you cannot joke with a woman. Women are powerful. You cannot go innocent. The female is needed by the male to give him the ultimate validation of his masculinity. Did you hear what I said? That's why we always need that blessing from women. I don't know. You just want a woman being around them or them saying something about you or them smiling at you. It must make you feel good. You understand what? That is female validation. Because when I talk about validation, I'm talking about confirmation. If you say validate this file for me, that means it has been confirmed that yes, correct. So the same way, it's the female that validates the male. When the female that starts with yes, I'm a man, the girls feel me. You see, that's what I mean when I talk about female validation. It's a dangerous thing. It will make you do foolish things, which are not worth it, and she will use you very well, without any what guilt, like we saw even in the Bible. They don't feel guilty. A woman can do something very dirty, and you might feel that you might be expecting some amount of guilt from her. If she cannot feel ashamed, for shame, the women fear that immediate shame thing more than men. Let's look at even secondary school. Some of the things that boys can do that are very shameful, and they will just come out and be like all manner of things. Men don't care about shame. When it comes to shame, men are very limited. We can be outstanding and outspoken and do certain crazy things. You can see guys walking that kind of thing. They don't care about that shame. Like, it doesn't affect. Shame is not a man's problem. It's a woman's problem. Guilt is a man's problem. That's you think we feel as if we are responsible for everyone and everything. Let's go of that guilt. You're not responsible for everyone and everything. Of course, it's a weakness because you always have a sense of responsibility. It was created in you. You are responsible. The female is needed by the male to give him the ultimate validation of his masculinity. That is the power the female has got over the male. The male tests and hungers for this validation, like a drug, Trom. He will do anything to get it. He will move heaven and earth, kill himself, do this, and all that. You can see the kind of things men do. You know what I'm talking about. And it's all just to get the woman to say you're a darling, or the woman to be happy. Then you feel, yes, I'm a man. This, I will put it in two forms. This irrational. I wish if you guys can give me the chance, we'll extend this thing to maybe around 10:30, 11 days, so I can get more time to break things. Are you ready? Yeah. Okay, up to 10:30. We should be closing at 10. But maybe we'll move it.
I want to quickly come.
Okay.
An example of
Okay. I'll put it in two ways. This nonsensical, intentional, and stubborn desire of the male to believe in this false deity is the downfall of all males universally. Doesn't matter if you're in China, so far as you're a man, China, Ukraine, Amazon forest, whether you're a cannibal sap, male nature is speaking and female nature is speaking. It doesn't have any geographical, historical limitation. So I'm saying that this irrational, deliberate, and obstinate desire of the male to believe in this false deity is the downfall of all males universally. In fact, the male believes in this way in spite of the grave consequences he will face. The insemination, you understand insemination? Yeah, impregnation or ejaculation into the woman of any female is instantaneously tantamount to female validation. But even goes beyond insemination. The male will risk everything just to get female validation, putting himself at risk as a living sacrifice, giving all of his strength, time, money, energy, be it necessary or not. This is the power she has over the male. The male will risk life, limb, and soul for the emotional reward of female validation that we can only receive from a female. So of course you can get validation from other things. You can go for a race and win and be given a medal. You can win a quiz. What is it? You can build a house and say yes. But there's no validation in this world. All those things are low power. No validation can compare to female validation.
Wow.
That's why rich men, they can make all the things, but still he needs a woman's validation. That's how powerful the female validation is. And you have to be aware. The male will risk like, okay, male crushing, which is comprised of both overwhelming disappointment and humiliation, summed up as incremental, complete, and consistent repeated disillusionment. Do you understand what I'm talking about? It's a continuous process of disillusionment. Losing your illusion that you created. So your religion, I will not take it from you. The woman will take it from you. Let me move on. You understand what I'm trying to say? Women are the ultimate destroyers of the male illusion in females. The female falls quite short and actually emerges as the opposite of her public representative. And this will eventually become evident to the male in any relationship. This is called female deconstruction of the male illusion. She will break it down for you. The crushing of the male comes when he realizes that female emotional response is largely like her public identity, nothing more than an illusion. She can act for you. The female has a little girl's dream, a dream that she had along. You don't have that dream about the kind of guy that she wants to be with, the way she wants her kitchen to be like. She has that dream. And unlike a male, the female is very stubborn when it comes to that dream. Have you seen women talking before? I want a man who is this, that, and she's not joking. Oh, she's not joking. They are very stubborn when they talk about those things. The only thing that can prevent a woman from that is when she realizes that her time is, she doesn't have the options. That's the only thing. It's not that she has changed her mind though. Just give her, subtract 5 years from her life again and let her become young again. Her options will not change. No matter how old she is. Let's say that a woman now, as she grows, it's her options that is limited, not that arrogance. It doesn't change. I'm talking about things that don't sound pleasant in your ears. But if you don't know them, you're not practical about them, you know them. Do you know what I said? I said if you don't know them, you are not practical. If you don't allow me to steal your religion from you, you see the danger of what this is I'm talking about. If you don't allow me to crush you now, you'll be crushed. I'm not saying you may be crushed. So far as you have any man, there's no man. Let me tell you something. There's no man who has had any dealing in terms of male-female interaction who has not been cut. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? At least either you are cut, something will happen because female nature is female nature. Who here can tell me that they have not been cut before? There's no man on earth who has had any dealing. You see how dangerous the thing is? That's how serious it is. If you've been cut and you are still denying and you still want to hold on to your religion, then when you are maimed or you are amputated, it's your own decision. It's not me. Because I'm giving you knowledge. I'm giving you understanding on something. Be aware of it and know how to deal with it. I hope you are getting. No man on earth, no man, unless maybe you were born somewhere that you've not seen a woman before. Or if you've interacted with a woman before as a man, you've been cut before. I'm telling you. You see that you cannot say anything. But see what I'm talking about. Your sex drive will move you to do things. The female sex drive is not the same as the male sex drive. The male sex drive is about 10 times more than the female sex drive. And that's why women can wait, within their time. Of course, they have sexuality. But you, because of your sex drive power, you'll be the one to break down and be doing a lot of crazy things just to get to her. She's not innocent. She dresses up as the female character you have been taught to believe in. And it is what you want her to be. Yet secretly, she's not who she looks to be like. The male has been taught that rabbits have 2 long ears, dogs bark, and females are clean, innocent creatures who are less susceptible and capable of doing wickedness. That's the teaching. So dogs bark. Whoa. Rabbits have 2 long ears, and women are clean, innocent. That's what you've been taught. Male validation is female awarded. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm skipping a lot of things, but I just want to summarize everything to you. How then can it be omnipotent? I listen to my question. I'm saying that male validation is female awarded. How then can it be omnipotent? That is all powerful. When it's being awarded by who? The female. Why? Because she decides to give it to you or not. And a man will not receive it necessarily because he deserves it. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm saying you don't receive it. That's the life we tell ourselves. You're not receiving it because you deserve it. She decides to give it to you. She knows. One thing you have to understand is that right from childhood, if you're a young girl who is 12 years thinks he can handle you, I'm telling you the truth. You know what I'm talking about. You think I don't know. I think you are so naive. A girl who is 12 years, she'll see you 24 years and she thinks she can handle you. And why? You don't know. Oh my God. She thinks she can handle you. She believes she can handle you. She knows. This is what she thinks. She can handle you. Oh, she can handle you because of your male nature. Oh, she can handle you. Don't joke with it. Like I told you, today will be overwhelming to you. When I was in Russia, I wrote this one. And when I came to Ghana, I concluded and completed with this one. It's all about male-female interactions. And I've not read even more than, I've been skipping, I've not read even 3 pages, 3 leaves to you. So many different aspects of the whole thing. And I know, it's a change in reality. When you go out and you start walking the street, everything will be blue to you. Like you start seeing things in different lights. You'll be initiated into some different thing altogether. You see what I'm talking about? Wherever you go now, in the little, I'm reading just one of my articles. With the little that you are getting to know, wherever you go, you'll be seeing it playing out. You will start seeing things that, she's doing because of that. This is what she's doing. You start seeing things. Let's move on. Okay, so I'm saying that because she showed me because you deserve it. The male receives it when she decides to reward to him. And this could be a false prize. That's what I'm telling you. She comes to you're such a. She's doing because she wants to get something. She has an ultimate aim. You know what I'm talking about? It's practical. It's true. Don't let it affect you. I know. Yeah, I know you're very emotional. And you have these things. So as soon as and she knows it from experience. She has the experience level of the repertoire that she has. She don't have 1/10 of it. You don't have 1/10 of it. Failure to perceive reality and clinging to delusions like males do for one's own assuagement is the epitome of psychological and emotional weakness. and possibly mental illness. This is a type of ignorant male that is made to order for the healthy, functioning, enterprising, crafty, and successful female. The successful female is a female under which men fall under her control. That's how women define success. Do you hear what I said? The successful female is a female under whom men fall under her control. Take a moment to think about what I'm saying. How do women define success amongst themselves? The amount of respect they give to among themselves is in terms of what kind of man you're able to catch, how many guys are. Of course, that's it. That's successful. Success I define to a female. It is very easy for the female to give the male a very false sense of male validation to any male who crosses her path and whom she permits to be gifted with male validation. She is the one who controls and doses out, like we are fetching a watch this afternoon. She's the one who controls and doses out male validation, and the male is on his knees waiting for it, begging for it. I guess the vision I'm trying to create is on his knees waiting for it. He will inconvenience himself, sacrifice himself, put himself in danger for this validation. That is the price, not sex, but male validation. Just let it sink for a few seconds. The female can easily play the role you want her to play. Just like any common criminal. I'm not insulting, I'm just putting things in perspective. She can play the role you want her to play. If she does not get what she wants, then look out. You will feel her wrath. And in no small way. Aggression, retaliation, vindictiveness. All that because she did not get what she thinks she deserves to get. The crashing of a male begins when he incrementally and suddenly finds that everything is the opposite of his fantasy. What he believed and expected to get, love, validation, devotion, long-term relationship with a female, emotional dependency, only to find out that it was only a hoax. I want to move on to something else. Some aspects. Okay. The feasibility. Here's some feasibility. The feasibility of any relationship is based purely on the female's needs, not the needs of the male. And she views this as proper, innate, instinctual, and primal. It's her right, her privilege. Listen to this. What she is expected to contribute to the relationship and to the male is negligible to her. It's not even part of the equation. Am I telling a lie? Listen to this. Her perceived contribution and its expected gain is sufficed by the mere fact that she is female, and in her view, nothing more should be required and expected. It's even strange and absurd to her that the male would require anything beyond her femaleness. Being female should be adequate and it must suffice. She is intrinsically, from inside her, she's intrinsically unaware of or dismisses any of the male's possible needs. At the beginning of a relationship, the male might overlook, excusing with the possible gain for him and the woman's beauty. But not the woman. She has already sized him up and is scheming. And if the male is not viable for her, he will be what? Invisible to her. You know what invisible is? Have you been invisible to a woman before? on who crowd need book me. You know, men are very what? She's not seeing you. She's very a particular kind of spectacles that sees some people and doesn't see some people. And what she does to you, she will not expect you to do the same thing to her. I think I give an example in the initial talk that a woman might ignore you or she might reject you, but women in general are a collective. Right? They're collective. They move like bees. You know how bees move, that group mind. Men are not like that. Men compete. A man will actually, the woman will call that, and when your friend will come and disgrace you for the woman, he will not support you. Because we are always competing amongst ourselves. Women don't do that. When it comes to the group agenda, they have one mind and they promote one thing and nobody leaves that line. So they always win. Okay. The highly effectual or the very, very effective and misleading resemblance of female submission is the most integral and fundamental element of the female's game. I think Richard tried to break down for us. It is what misleads the male. A woman's concession to a man is always based on anticipated male control and anticipated material gain that the male will provide, either directly or through association with him in terms of a lifestyle or enabling her to reproduce. Her concession for the male is never based on emotional or sexual gains, as the male idealizes and fantasizes. She has a bigger agenda than that. She has a little girl's dream right from the time of her childhood. And she has to achieve that dream. And you take her for that ride. So if she doesn't like where you are going, and she wants to get somewhere, and you are the one who's driving the car, right? So if she sees that she cannot control you, forget. If she cannot control you, that means she will not get where she has to get to, because you'll be doing your own thing. So she has to find a way, a means of getting you to do what she wants you to do. Some of these things become more clearer to us as we enter long-term relationships. Some of us maybe will not get some of the things. So I'm saying that the sexual strategies of the male, of the two genders, that's the male and female, is based on fantasy and deception. It's the male's fantasy of domination over a female who will be subservient and submissive to him and his masculinity, while the female must deceive the male by portraying this facade long enough to trap the male under her submission and incremental control. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm saying that the female will use that submission to get you to where she wants to get you, and after marriage, you live happily even after. Yeah. And you say, she has changed. She wasn't like that. This is not what I knew. She knows what she's doing. She will use any technique. She will accept all your what? Okay, you're okay. Who they worry me? If she chooses you, she'll do anything that she has to do to get you to do what she after that judgment. You understand what I'm trying to say? You have to be aware of saying you're making the right choice and you know what you are getting into, so that you don't be so fantastical to the extent that you'll be so disappointed and crushed. You know what you are doing and how to deal with it. These are realities. Women do not need emotions to function. They don't need it. Women marry men that they don't love. Do you know that? Most women, I'm telling you, most women get married to men they don't love. they don't have any emotions towards. Because, like I mentioned before, women don't need arousal. They don't need arousal before functioning. I don't know if you get where I'm coming from. She doesn't need to be aroused. It's not in her makeup. When I say need, I'm not saying she doesn't want to be aroused though. I say she doesn't need it. You need it. Even your physiology shows it. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say. You have to get an erection. Have you ever seen a woman saying today I didn't get my DCD open is over? No, it doesn't happen anywhere. You don't need arousal before functioning. You need it. So you have to see a beautiful girl and say, this girl fine. Oh. You go and sleep at the house and be daydreaming and all that. She doesn't. That's why you go and ask her that I like her, I want to do this. You go to dream. Then I don't know if you go where I'm coming from. And she go and think about things. Okay, this man, he's a nice guy. Very soon you'll start work. He's a financing man. You'll get how much they billions. I'm telling you realities. That's how the female function. It doesn't need that. We've been lied to for too long. Women are not emotional the way you think. They emote. Let me give you the example between emotional and emote. Let me tell you, for example, a child comes to pick your toy or your keys, and you've come to visit your friend. A child comes to pick it, and you're going and say, oh, hey, Kofi, from key in mommy. Now, what I saw, something found out. What's the child doing? He's emoting. He's not emotional. Do you understand what I'm saying? He's not being emotional because emotion comes from a response to something real. So women will use that emoting thing to confuse you to think that they are so emotional. I'm not saying women cannot be emotional. I'm saying that women, majority of the time, the thing that they are doing that you think is so this thing is emoting. You are the one that is emotional. But you're always hiding it and trying to be man. Man, now we are dying inside. And so, she's emotional. She's very practical. Did you hear what I said? You are not practical. When a man is choosing a wife or a girl, he's not practical. Who cares? Who breasts? Who find? And you just start fantasizing. That's all that a man does. A woman sees you, so Richie is a nice guy. Look at how tall he is. He's a fine guy. I just like this guy. He's cute. Okay, what can Richard do for me? What can I get from him? Can I control Richard? Those are the things she's asking. That's why women reject fine boys. Have you seen a guy? It's different. Men don't reject fine girls. Women, something you can be sure. How does this fine guy? Have you not seen those? Women don't look at those things so much. Those things will just open the first door for you. She would like to get to know you. You are a good option. But if she sees that, she will just cancel you and you just be shocked. Have you ever met a woman that you thought she was so interested in you and all that? All of a sudden, like, when the emotions, she has turned cold. All of a sudden, cold. The way they function is the same way as you function. That's one thing you have to understand. The penis is not the same as the vagina. The mistake you make is when you try to reflect or project male nature onto female nature. Oh, you suffer. The way you are thinking, you are so fantasizing and those things. No. It doesn't work that way for a woman. They are practical. They choose according to. Oh, Daniel, doctor, he has come. Oh, he said, if I work with him, he said, that's what he's looking at. Too. Not what you are thinking. Are you getting where we are coming from? I understand because it seems as if fantasy is being taken. You'll be in denial. You are going through grief. Do you understand what grief is? It starts with denial. Say, no, this thing is not really possible. But you are seeing the thing is true. I don't know how to put it. It's undeniable. You are seeing. I know for those who are older, they know. For them, it's like I'm just telling them something that they've not really been able to categorize it. Yeah. But it's just for just thinking. But maybe these are the young ones. You've been cut before. Some of you have been stabbed. But you have to hold on to that religion. And you know what I'm saying is true, but you're in denial. But as time goes on, you get angry. Then you start bargaining. Oh, maybe not all women are like that. Some women are. Oh my God. Oh, you have to go through all that before you reach the ultimate. So see, Charlie. There's so much I want to talk about, but If I want to talk about all the things that I've written, then we will take many days and it will take a long time. So I'm just jumping some lines and just mentioning some. But I've underlined some things I just want to mention to you. The female does not concede to the male. If she has to do that, she will claim that the relationship is not working. You understand what I'm saying? Bismarck, that girl, everything is working now because she's getting what she thinks she deserves. But if you try to break away from the line, you want to cut down your allowances, or you are now being too stubborn, you don't allow her to control you the way she thinks she can control you, the relationship is not working. If you can tell me a lie, try to play fool small. It's not working. It's not working for her, not for you. Let's listen to this. Okay, it's left with 30 minutes now. Okay. Because I'm looking at the time, it's 60 minutes. Okay. I'm saying that women do not want to be judged. Have you ever tried criticizing a woman before? You saw it from a biblical aspect. As soon as God always tells his wife, Israel, he says, what have I done wrong? And God always does what? Confront them. A man, you have to confront to learn from God. Tell them exactly what they did. Don't run away from it. They will respect you for it. Confront them. Don't pretend as if it didn't happen. That's how they do. They always stand like carpet. It didn't happen. It didn't happen. Women do things so. Women do things. Let me put my key down. Let me tell you something. No woman is innocent. All of them are dirty. And it's because of their nature. Let me give you what I mean by that. They do dirty things. And they come in. What have I done wrong? She eats, cleans her lips, and says, what have I done wrong? And pretend as if nothing happened. And what she does is that she convinces herself that nothing happened, cleans out the carpet. And comes and pretend as if, and she tries to convince herself that she's still a virgin. And she's still pure. And when people are talking, she'll also be talking some. And you see her walking around, and you look at her features and her innocent face, cute face, and all that, doing this, and say, this girl there, she's not like that, though. She's so nice, she's so. Do you know what she's done? You will not believe it. Yes. If God should reveal just one, you will run away from this girl. I'm telling you, they do things. I'm telling you that no woman, not one. I'm not saying that maybe she's not a virgin or not, but no one is innocent. They've done things. They've done things. So far as she's had an interaction with a man before, she has played games. It just comes to her naturally. While yet, she has taken advantage of men. No woman is innocent when it comes to that, not one. Not one. She knows no other way of behaving and will not permit herself to be accountable to the immorality and insensitivity of her nature. Women walk the fine line between gain and shame. To gain is to be in shame, morally. What I'm saying is that there's a fine line between gain, shame. Like we saw in Hosea. Hosea was saying that you go to your lovers who will give you what? You gain something. Food, water, oil, whatever. But what is shameful because you're acting as a whore. I understand where I'm coming from. So they walk the fine line between gain and shame because to gain, the things that they do to gain are shameful. She will use everything within her disposal, use any defense mechanism, disguise and conceal, and disassociate herself and deflect any moral, ethical liability of her nature. This deflection of accountability is the foundation of her behavior and what defines much of the foundations of female nature. The impudence that engenders or creates this deflection is her victimhood status. She's a victim. Before I move on, I would like to talk about victim a little. Then you understand what I'm talking about. What do I mean when I say she's a victim? The natural state of a woman is victimhood. Listen to what I'm saying. She has learned to gain everything through victimhood. She gains sympathy, employment opportunities, advantages, protection, support from playing the victim. This is what men are unfamiliar with. Men do not expect it and are not able to understand this type of functioning. Her victim is what outwits men, deceives men, and fools men. And what makes her ultimately. Victimhood is the essence of being female and all the advantages that accompany it. If you strip a woman of her victimhood status, you strip her of her femininity. You understand what I mean by victimhood? She always will claim that she is the underdog. And you are doing that to her because she's a woman. And men are always oppressing women. She will always claim and find herself in a position where society will always see her as the frail, weak one. And because of that, you cannot even touch, because a victim can never be guilty. You know what I mean by a victim? You come to a room and someone has stabbed this guy. You come and see him lying in the blood, you see the knife in the person's hand. This guy can never be guilty. He's the victim. He's the one who has been offended. So you see that when it even comes to shaming language, you always play the victim and take the position of the one who has been offended because of something. It's like a car that they move with. Oh, I'm a woman. She shows it every time and everywhere. She doesn't even have to show it. She's just seen as a victim even everywhere. So an interaction takes place between you and a woman, and someone comes and says it. You don't even want to know what happened. She's the victim. That's what I'm talking about. She's the one who has been troubled and wrong. Nobody is going to ask any questions. You're the guy. And so far as you're the guy, she's the victim. You are wrong and she's right. Go and slap a woman outside and you see what will happen to you. She slaps you and everybody says, oh, you don't mind her, don't mind her. That's how powerful women are. And she's going to play that game with you consistently. Women fear judgment. Just like human beings fear judgment. I'm talking about human beings in relation to God. For a woman to be judged is very damaging. And for that reason, a woman will never openly judge anyone for this reason. And will consult to gossiping. That's not what I said. If something happens and you, the man, wants to comfort it, why is he being so this thing? They don't like judgment. You get what I'm trying to say? They always try to brush things out like carpet. Oh, you are trying to disgrace me. And she always say, you are disgracing me. She'll say that. Because she fears the shame that comes with judgment. You see where I'm coming from? So she has to gossip. So when you're not there, then you're going, hey, as soon as you do it, why do they fear judgment down? Because why do they fear to judge? Because they themselves know what they have done. You look on Facebook and somebody will say, oh, don't talk about the past. And let me tell you something. Never move the woman whose past you don't know. At least know it and deal with it. Let me give you an example. You are going to buy a car. You get to the car shop. All of a sudden, you see a nice blue car. You like blue shiny cars. You get into the shop and say, I like this car. And the owner says, oh, let me tell you about the car. I say, no, forget about the car. I said, this is the car I like. You don't even want to know the engine power, whether it has this or that. No, I want the car. Would you do that? But that's how men behave when they see women. You see fine woman now, you just say, oh, I like you, I want to be your. What's wrong with you? You don't want to know the engine capacity. You don't want to know it, how long it has been used, whether it will last for you, what effect it will have on you. No, you want it. That's how fantastical men are. And we always suffer for it. Do you understand where I'm coming from? That's how fantastical we are. And we will suffer for it consistently. Always ask about her history. She's going to lie to you. She will tell you a lot of lies. But listen to the lies. Listen to them cheerfully. And with rapt attention. She'll tell you about the guy friend, and she'll always play the victim. You see where I'm coming from? Listen, but read between the lines. Read between the lines. Do what? Read between the lines. You see that things are not connecting. You realize, but this guy did all this for you and did this to him. She will say something that she didn't intend to say, but she will reveal herself to you small. But she will lie to you. Because women lie. Oh, they lie. That's the language. Oh, lies here, they tell a lot. You know how the menstrual cycle works? That's how women work. If she's done to the other guy, she'll do it to you. So why don't you want to know? Let's see. No, at least know your destiny. She'll do it because they work in cycles. It's called serial monogamy. You know, men work in a particular way where men are always moving in parallel. A man can handle two, he has a girlfriend, then side chick, then this. Women ideally don't want those kind of things. She just wants to harness one when she feels it's okay and she's not interested in it, you are not serving the function, and she cuts it and moves to the next one and tries to forget about whatever happened. That's what they do. I don't know. The conscience is very limited in the first place, like I'm telling you. So to just cut it and forget about the other guy. The guys are usually very shocked. I've moved to this woman before. She will just cut it and clean it from the history. It didn't happen. That's what she tells herself. You know something? As I'm speaking, everybody will connect according to their level of what experience. You understand? When I say something like this, I say something like yeah. But when you get something, what is this guy talking about? You get to know. Don't worry. You know it. Unless maybe you move to manland and when you stay there, where there's no woman. But so far as you're going to interact with women, you're going to get married or be in long-term relationship, all the things I mentioned, all the concepts, you will discover them. You just cut it. It means happen. Move to the next one. Cut it. Women always talk about commitment though. But your commitment is your commitment, it's not your commitment. Don't ever, commitment is important to women because commitment will mean that now what belongs to you belongs to her.
Yes.
But as far as commitment is on her side, she's always open. She can look at other men, she can do all that. I think some of you have had girlfriends already. She thinks she can do all that bullshit. And as soon as you complain, she will play victim. But you can never do that. That's the game. You can't do that. Who told you? How dare you? Should we do that? But you cannot do that. I've seen so many times and in many instances where guys the girl is flirting with another guy when the guy is there. And sometimes the guy may see, sometimes the guy may not even see, and she's doing it. They do it every time. And they always get away with it. She'll get away. Because you yourself, from experiencing that, when you go and talk, she'll get angry. And see, what have I done wrong? But you don't look sharp. Reflect on the girl. And you're in trouble. That is the name of the game. She makes the rules, but she doesn't want to go according to the rules. Job understands very well what I'm talking about. He understands. Lawrence also starts to understand more. But you should learn how to live with a woman. I'm talking about a natural woman here. Just like the same way you can talk about a natural man. These things are instinctual. It's all part of the case. I have not even got there. I don't want to talk about that one. I wanted to talk about Genesis chapter 3, what happened to man and woman when God left man and woman? The curse that God placed on man and woman. It's part of the curse. But you're going to experience it. Okay, let me be concluding. Women love a mask. You know what I said? Women love a mask. When on display, when a woman is on display, not very much is real about a woman. The makeup on the skin, as well as the implants below the skin, as well as the brazier, the shoulder pad, and the hip, or whatever. They are just the physical components of the mask. However, they do not only mask their appearance, but also their character and personality as well. You hear what I said? They present themselves in a way. Everything is appearance. What she's vulnerable to or what she fears is recognition and exposition. As in being exposed for who she is, or you recognizing that what is what she's doing. That's what she fears, and that's what she's vulnerable to. Because when you recognize her, you've actually cut off her supply. So she doesn't want to be discovered for what she's doing, but she does it. That's what she fears. When you recognize her, that means all the gains she's gaining will be cut. You see her for who she really is. So she doesn't want that to happen. Confront them and expose them. It helps them to recognize what they are doing. And they start trying to change. Or, if they don't want to change, you will not see them again. You know what I'm trying to say? It's 2 things, but it's worth it. The response are going to be to confront them. If you confront her and she has made her mind that to gain is to be in shame. You understand what I'm saying? To gain is to be in shame. I will still want to gain. I'm not going to, and the only way that I can gain is by playing my games. So what I'll do is that this guy does not exist. Cut you, not talk to you again. You don't exist. You know, when I talk about that aspect, you don't understand because you're a guy. Women have that special ability and gift. This is what I'm saying. Of doing that. To clean. It's not that it's there, but she's able to recreate it and lie to herself, and like she can convince herself and she can cut it off. It's a special ability. You, a man, cannot, because you have a great conscience. That's the problem that you have. It's good to have a conscience, but it comes at a cost. I'm saying women don't have conscience. They have conscience, but their conscience is limited, especially when it comes to relating with men. Very limited. So she can just cut it. Don't talk about the past. And she's done things. And you'll be shocked. My brother, you'll be shocked. Abortions. And she tell you that I've never slept with a man before. And the wedding night, and she starts crying. What's the problem? One time, me and some guy raped me. She will play the victim. She always, but she telling a big lie. She did it consensually. I'm telling you. I'm not saying that a woman has never been raped before, but 99.9% of the time, she did it because she wanted to do it. She was gaining something. When you see a woman who got pregnant and messed things up and all that, and now she's become a single mother and all that, it's because of her decisions. To gain is to be in shame, and things didn't work out for her, and the men left her. But it was her choice. She did it because she wanted to do it. Nobody forced her. And she did it with the age, it was a game she was playing, of getting something. She had of serial motive. But somehow the thing didn't work out the way she wanted it to work out. And she's now the victim. She's always the victim of all the guys that she's ever got involved with. You are the next person to be
The next victim in life.
the one who hated. Yeah, next one. When she says, "Oh, sorry, why these guys are like that?" My friend, you're the next guy. You're the next guy.
I don't know what will come.
She will say the same thing about you. The same thing. Hmm. Okay, I was saying something. I ran away from there. Okay, I've got about 10 minutes more. So I'm talking about women walking a fine line between gain and shame. Let me jump over these ones. She will always imply purity and innocence. It's at the underpinning, the foundation of her false self-presentation. Are you doubting when I say women present themselves falsely? Even from their very appearance from the morning, when they wake up, the makeup and all, does it not tell you that women have a false presentation? Why are you doubting me? If you want to still hold on to your religion, I will don't mind. Go to the field and get your ass kicked a little. Nobody will tell you. She would always imply purity. Whenever a situation comes, oh, me, I'm not like that. Oh, not all women are like that. She's like that. I'm telling that she's like that. But she always imply that purity and play the victim and innocence and clean. So it's at the underpinning of a false self-presentation of the contradictory image of innocence and morality. For the female, her projected, listen to this, I'm saying for the female of a woman, her projected image and her self-identity, the way she makes you see her, does not match her behavior. You know, like I mentioned when we were talking about strategy, our emotions blind us. But it does not match her behavior, the arrogance. It does not match her objectives, her plan. I want a man who is this and that, and I want to get here by this time. If you don't have this, get away. Yeah, you see that kind of thing. That ruthless. And it does not also match her past history. For a woman. But she will always imply purity. The female knows that she can either fall or she can flourish. There's nothing in between. If the female is to be moral and less narcissistic, it will mean the inaccessibility and the unattainability of her objectives and her self-thriving destination. She might not get there. Because, like we realize, they want you to. You're the one driving the car. And they want to get somewhere. So they play all those kinds of games for you to take them there. What others think of her is of paramount importance to the female whose public image is contrived and must be maintained at all times. This is precipitated by her fear of shame of being exposed, and more importantly, the termination and nullification of her mighty game if she is exposed. If she is no longer seen as a victim, her game is nullified and her gains disappear because it becomes inaccessible. She would always project a facade. For her, a man's role is very grateful to be chosen to serve her. She feels and believes that it's your obligation and it's your natural destiny to serve her. Females are not direct. Everything is not substance but style, and everything is hidden. Everything is appearances. And as I said, and what they are mainly concerned about is how they look and the avoidance of shame. It's enough. Or is it not enough? Because if I go and pick something else, I'll talk plenty. Who is talking? Togo, after sleeping for that long. Okay, let's just end here. I just want to say that the Bible verses that I gave you, go and look through them and take note of them, read them, and ask for more insight into them from God. Ask for more insight into them from God. There's so much. You see all these things. Okay. There's so much more. They just have to. So God bless you and thank you for listening.